I am super excited to be here today. Look at this really sick dragon and check out this throne. I'm at a really awesome candy shop. It's medieval themed. There's like candy and goodies galore. I cannot wait to take you guys inside, and Ryan is alongside with me as well.
First walked in, you just could see the amount of like candy and a lot of the chocolates. So like, how did you go a part of designing the entire store, like putting like the candy first and then drawing everybody to the chocolate?
Well, my thought was I wanted to be more of an experience and not just a retail store. So some of the things we do here are not based on regular retail like practices. It's about making it sort of magical and fun. And first thing for me for candy is sort of the colorful nature of it. And so we try to display it in a way that is more artistic than necessarily all about like sales per square foot and all this stuff. We're interested in our guests having an experience when they come. We kind of create a flow so that families can kind of take their time and not feel rushed and just enjoy the environment they're in, while maybe finding a thing that is like either nostalgic to them or something that their children really came here because they were looking forward to getting certain candies when they come here.
I remember I walked over and I saw the Big League Chew. That just takes me back to playing Little League, and just every Saturday we had to have a big thing of
Right.
like Big League Chew. The sweet tarts, the gobstoppers, those were like my favorites. Like I still go into a candy store, like those are the ones that I gravitate to all the time.
Absolutely.
Another big thing was the king shakes. So what was the thought process, and how did you guys come up with those ideas?
So the concept of big kind of extravagant shakes was definitely not my idea. That's been going on for many years throughout the United States. But I felt because we do candy, ice cream, and chocolate, that we could do something a little different than what I've seen out there, where we can incorporate candies and pieces of chocolate that maybe we made into those shakes. And so when we decided to start making them, we always picked a theme. Try to keep them a little bit more artistic than in nature, rather than sort of a pile of things that are kind of dripping all over themselves, so that they're not over the top, but they are really enjoyable for our customers. One of the favorite ones that I've ever created, I actually called the Fenway Frap. It literally had Pesky's pole, which was a pretzel stick dipped in chocolate and covered with yellow sprinkles. You know,
Never really thought
it's
about
kind
that.
of fun. We actually had little red gummy sneakers for the Red Sox. We had a green theme on the outside for the Green Monster. And just, I love to do these things, and it had Cracker Jacks on it. This entire shake came from one thing, which was me walking through the grocery store and seeing Cracker Jacks, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I could do with that. So,
What would you say are like the big time like customer favorites? Like everybody like gravitates to them right away.
so the top two, without question, are an Oreo-based one and a peanut butter-based one. One that's the peanut butter is just absolutely loaded with peanut butter from top to bottom. I always tell folks that like there's no other peanut butter stuff we have to put on it. It's got everything. It's called the Fields of Gold. And then the other one is the Oreo MG. And it is just loaded from top to bottom with Oreos. It actually has 7 Oreos on it when it's finished, in addition to Oreos being in the shake. And so those are generally the top two for sure.
Like the chocolate, like the peanut butter cups, like all of those. Do you make those like daily? How'd you decide like, oh, I want to just make like these monster, like instead of like the normal size, I want to like triple the size?
A fortuitous moment, I came across these really large cups one time, and I did a couple of tests and made peanut butter cups in those probably all the way back 5 or 6 years ago when I first started making chocolate. And now we have a great chocolatier, Beth, who makes all of our chocolates, and every week she has to make about another 100 peanut butter cups because she's created about 7 or 8 different flavors now. And so the thing I always tell my employees is variety creates interest, and that's what she's done.
So excited to be here today at Lickees Chewy's. I found out about your business because I was just browsing on Instagram, and one of your king shakes literally caught my attention, and I was like, I have to go DM that owner, and I need to get in there and try these shakes. How did you guys choose Dover, New Hampshire?
Well, we started actually just a couple towns over with a much smaller store, and that store grew and grew and grew, and we grew out of it. So when I started looking in the Seacoast area, we came across this place sort of by accident. And when I looked at the building from the outside, it had a very castle kind of nature to it, and actually has like a bell tower right above our entrance. And so I fell in love with it right away. Wanted to build sort of a castle themed store. It was perfect. We like to call this place Caramelot. It's a theme. It's a play on the whole caramel nature of my candy making history, and the theme of Camelot, and my characters Lickee and Chewy, my knight and my dragon.
We're highly into the theme of medieval. If you walk around, you see knights, you see the shields, you see everything that reminds you of back in the day with like the swords and the dragons. It's just, it's so breathtakingly beautiful. I love all of the detailed woodwork. I know you mentioned that a lot of your pieces in here, as far as the furniture, they're actually from India, so let's talk about that.
Actually they are, yes. I came across a company that's actually not far outside of Boston that specializes in importing furniture that is made from old products or items from India, whether it be doorways or an old rickshaw cart. Some of my shelving is made from old rickshaw carts, and they specialize in that. Over the past few years, I've probably bought like 20 pieces from them because I just fell in love with the theme and the motif that they have. It kind of gives it a nice medieval feel to my castle here. Part of what has happened with Lickees and Chewy's, which is things happen for a reason, and you know, we found the right pieces of furniture, we found the right location, we found the right, you know, way to build it so that everybody has some space to enjoy just kind of being here.
I love the fact that you guys are a family-owned business. I walked in, I saw you, your brother.
Yeah.
What made you guys want to start a candy business?
So I've been just a huge candy fanatic my whole life. My wife says I have candy radar, never missed a chance to go into a candy store no matter where we were. Air Force for 25 years, it took me all over the world, so whether it was in Asia or Europe or other parts of the United States, I have been in hundreds of candy stores and fallen in love with all the different flavors and the colors and the textures, but also with how it makes people feel. That's what's really kind of special to me. Within a few months of being retired and sort of in the middle of taking some time off before starting a new job, my wife told me that the candy store, this little store in Durham where we live, had gone up for sale. And I was like, wow.
That was your shot.
Just perfect. And it was that first store that kind of launched this.
Talking about it, you were in the service for a number of years, and in Afghanistan, I believe in 2008 is when you started coming up with the candy idea for having your own shop and having the whole medieval theme. So can you kind of give me some backstory on that? And I want to hear more about Lickee and Chewy, these cute little characters right here.
This is all tied into my time in Afghanistan in 2008. I was deployed to one of them, a good friend of mine still, was sitting at his desk, and he spun around. Now this is the holiday time that we were there. It was during the holidays, and he looked at this table, which was essentially just a mountain of junk food, of candy and cookies and whatnot that had been shipped to us in care packages from our families back in the U.S. And we used to kind of pile it all on one table and just share it for everybody. Well, he turns around and he's like, man, that's a lot of Lickees and Chewy's. And I was like, that's a lot of what? And I had never heard that term before. He's like, that stuff, that's all Lickees and Chewy's. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, come to find out, it's an old military term, and it means junk food, candy, lollipops, chocolate bars that troops would take out to the field and whatnot. A term came up, my friend said it, and I told him right then and there, I'm like, I'm opening a candy store with that name someday because it's so awesome. Settled on these wonderful designs that I used an artist from New Zealand to help me create. And so here we are. We're able to make Caramelot a reality. We have Lickee and Chewy. We're actually adding another character right now. His name is Iger the Ogre, and he's been created. He's a sticker and he's a drawing, and that's because we've now created Ogre Chocolates, which is our own brand of chocolate that will be coming out in a few months.
Fully enjoyed our time here today at Lickees and Chewy's in Dover, New Hampshire. Literally, you guys need to come. So many goodies here.
If you're getting ready for a road trip or just want some extra dessert for the night, you gotta come check out this place.